Hey guys, and welcome back. I'm about to meet Sarah at the Cascade River, and we are going to be hiking out to my home at Gorge River. For those of you who don't know, I grew up as a part of New Zealand's most remote family. We live in a very secluded place right next to the ocean, roughly halfway between Haast to the north and Milford Sound to the south. So to get to my house, it's roughly 40 kilometers, and that's about a 2-day hike. In this video, I'm going to show you the hike from the Cascade Road end to Gorge River. This is my home at Gorge River. So it's 6:30 p.m. and we've just started walking. Tonight we're just going to walk a couple of hours across the Cascade River and then to a small farmhouse on the other side of the river, and that way it's not so far to walk tomorrow down to Barn Bay. The Cascade River here is pretty much the biggest obstacle that stands between Gorge River and civilization. You've got to wait for 2 or 3 days after a heavy rainstorm for this river to go down low enough to actually be able to cross it, and we're going to cross it very soon. The crossing here at the moment is quite deep and scary. Even though it's a very long flat crossing, it's still almost waist deep on me, so it's going to be pretty deep for Sarah. So it's always a relief to have crossed the Cascade River safely. As kids, when we were walking out here, Dad would walk across the river with Mum and my sister, and I would be left on the other side of the river sitting and waiting, and then Dad would come back and pick me up and then cross the river with me as well. And then when we were a little bit older, I remember when I was 8, I got to cross the river with Mum and Dad and Robin all at the same time. That was quite exciting. It was pretty deep when you're 8 years old. It's just about dark and we're at the hut that we're going to stay in tonight. This is the original farmhouse on the farm on the south side of Cascade River. Pretty old hut. We had a lovely sleep in the wee farmhouse and we've just got underway. We're going to be walking through to Barn Bay today, and I would expect that to take us probably 4 to 5 hours, and the whole way to Barn Bay is a 4-wheel drive track besides the last kilometre, and it pretty much just winds its way through the bush.
These are like a prosma berry, You find them in different colours. There's a bunch of different species of cosmos, but the berries are edible and they're delicious, and these ones on this tree are massive.
It looks quite stormy today, and tonight is forecast heavy rain, and we're actually just hiding under a tree at this moment. There's a little passing shower, but it's already stopped, so that was about 3 minutes. So we'll keep walking down. Hopefully we get to the hut before the heavy rain starts. It's meant to get here about 7 p.m. I'm pretty tired today. I actually walked all of this yesterday. I left home about 9 o'clock in the morning, and it took me 6 hours 50 minutes to walk all the way out to the Cascade Road end. I ran a lot of it. As babies, Mum and Dad actually carried us along this track, but once both Robin and I got to the age of 3.5, we were too heavy to be carried. So at the age of 3.5, we had to walk the entire length between Gorge River and Cascade. But that would take us about 5 days though, and it's pretty cool that both Robin and I now do it in just 1 day if we're travelling light and fast. As a 3.5-year-old, the rock's pretty tall and the rivers are pretty deep, so it was a big undertaking. We would walk first to the Spoon River. We had some tents there that we'd use. We'd go to Barn Bay, stay in the house there for a couple of days, go to the second house at Barn Bay, walk out to the Cascade, to the hut that we camped in last night, and then finally we'd get out to the Cascade Road end. At the road end, we didn't even have a car back then, so we would hope that we could get a ride out to Haast from there. Having grown up doing this sort of thing, both my sister and I are pretty used to the wilderness, and we can walk fast on rough terrain basically anywhere. And it's one of my favourite things to bring other people out here and show them that, and also teach people a lot of different skills that most people in this modern world don't have anymore. So this is our third crossing of the Hope River, and it's pretty deep. The house here at Barn Bay was built by Lou Brown, and he was a crayfishman here. Unfortunately, when I was 2, so in about 93, he moved out with his family. They had 5 kids here, so it would have been quite awesome for Robin and I at Gorge River to have had some neighbours, even if they were 20 kilometres away, who had kids. Now we rent this place off a friend of ours in Haast. It's definitely one of my favourite houses to stay. There's a lot of history here and a lot of stories, and I really love staying here. Good morning. It rained a lot last night and the river was quite flooded this morning, and so we didn't go anywhere. We had quite a slow start, and it's about midday now and we've just made it across the Hope River. Remember, this was quite easy to cross yesterday, and today it's swollen, and we made it across absolutely fine, but you wouldn't have wanted it to be much deeper. It was probably the deepest river crossing that Sarah and I have done. Quite relieved to have got across this river today, because otherwise we might have been stuck here for another day, and then we'd have to walk down to Gorge River tomorrow. So we're across the river now and we're going to head south. We're about 2 kilometres south of Barn Bay, and what a wild day on the west coast it is. Look at these waves behind me, they're absolutely massive. I've just been hiding under a flax bush trying to keep dry, because we've got kind of these southerly squalls coming through, so it'll rain really heavily for about 10 minutes and then it stops. So if you can just hide under a tree for a bit, that way you don't get wet. We've just stopped for a drink of water and a music bar. When I crossed this river the other day, it almost didn't exist. It was about 3 centimeters deep, and it just kind of trickled out through the gravel out to the ocean. So that gives you an idea how much rain there was last night and how much bigger all these creeks and rivers are today. And there's 2 spectacular waterfalls that actually run into this creek here. As you can see, this is quite a beautiful and unique part of New Zealand and a part of the world. And I feel really lucky to have grown up here. I'm super privileged. Over the years we've had quite a lot of other people coming through this area hiking, and unfortunately over the years we've actually been getting less and less people coming along this particular route. We used to get about 80 people a year, and now some years we only get maybe 20, which is crazy because New Zealand in general is getting busier. We got more people, we got all of the tramping tracks are generally full, especially in summer, and yet out here we're getting less people, and it's kind of a shame. I think people are becoming less adventurous. More people are getting into the outdoors and doing the easy walks, but no one's actually coming out into these incredibly beautiful and rugged areas to hike. And that's one reason why I'm making this video today. It's to show you guys what an incredible piece of coastline this is, and hopefully to inspire you guys to come out and enjoy it as well. In the text below this video I'm going to be leaving a link to my blog post, which is pretty much step-by-step instructions on how to walk from Haas to Holyford. And I really recommend you guys to get out and about and enjoy this incredible and unique part of New Zealand. If you want to have any tips or any advice, please just ask me, not a problem. Anyone is always welcome at our house at Gorge River for a cup of tea and a piece of cake, anytime.
It's really beautiful today, really rough coastline. Starting to get a little bit tired now with the rocks. You always got to concentrate where you're putting your feet, because I'm looking pretty slick today, so starting to get tired.
So we've just got to what is known as Sandrock Bluff. It marks approximately halfway between Barn Bay and Gorge River. You can't go around the bluff except sometimes at very dead low tide on a beautiful day, so obviously not today. This here marks the start of the track, and the track starts approximately 1 kilometre back from the bluff itself. We keep this track maintained, and so today I'm actually going to be doing quite a bit of work on it because a lot of the markers have fallen down and there's a few trees, and it's always been a job of my family to keep this track open. Originally this track was built by bulldozers back in the early 1980s.
Glacial deposited mud. It would have come from the glacier that came from the Spoon River. I guess it would have been there the height of the last ice age, which would have been about 18 to 20,000 years ago. This is a big wall of it, got a couple of meters high, and it's really amazing. We've
just made it to the Spoon River. This is where, as kids, we would camp our first night and then walk on to Barn Bay the second day. And from here it's about 7 kilometres to Gorge River. So we're going to cross this river. It's a bit bigger than it normally is, so that's going to be interesting. This is our last main river crossing before Gorge River. Gorge River is a big river, but we've got a boat there. From the Spoon through the gorge is mostly sand and it's quite easy walking, but this should take us about an hour and a half, so we'll get to Dad's place before dark. This is definitely the wildest day that I've ever done this walk. I've never walked it with such a massive ocean and rivers and creeks as flooded as they were today. So don't be put off if you look at this video and think, wow, that's pretty wild and crazy. Yes, it is, but most days out here aren't this wild. A couple of days ago when I walked out those rivers that today were like knee deep to thigh deep, some of those were that deep and you could just about jump across them. So it is a very changeable environment out here, and you do have to be very careful and make sure you check forecasts and that sort of thing before you come. But at the same time, don't let that put you off. This is an incredible part of the country, and get out there and enjoy it. What a stunning spot. I'm really stoked to have shared this day with Sarah. She's been wanting to walk in for a while and could not have picked a better day.
See Gorge River, we're almost there. I've been rained on today a little bit. I'm ready for some food. A little bit tired, but feeling pretty good, just ready for a break.
We've made it. This is my home at Gorge River. Mum and Dad, I see you've already seen us up the beach, and they're off to get the boat to come and pick us up. This river is really deep, so we definitely don't want to swim, especially after sunset. That was an awesome walk in. That was definitely the roughest walk I've ever had, the weather-wise. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and we'll see you in the next adventure somewhere around Gorge River.